time for Macon and Eggs. Good morning. I'm Leah Fleming. I'm back in the studio after a long hiatus with Charles.
Yeah, where you been? I've been sitting here waiting on you.
Where you been? Charles Richardson is
I almost grew a beard.
I know. Charles, as you may remember, is the editorial page editor at The Telegraph, and it's great to be back.
It certainly is.
You know, we should have had breakfast today.
We should have. Well,
I always think of these things too late, but next time.
Next time.
Next time. Okay. All right. Well, there's no end to the juicy topics that we have to talk about. Hot topic number one, Governor Nathan Deal has signed into law this Todd Gurley bill. It now makes it a crime punishable by up to a year in jail to entice student athletes to break NCAA rules by taking money. Todd Gurley was the student athlete at the University of Georgia. He was a running back who signed autographs for money.
Right.
And he recently was the 10th overall pick at the NFL draft.
That's correct.
Okay. What is the meaning of this?
Well, the agents and stuff, people that do this kind of souvenir thing, they know they're not supposed to be doing that. Mm-hmm. And the athletes know they're not supposed to be doing this. I mean, these athletes are told from the very beginning, you don't do stuff like this. Now, the real question is the NCAA or the schools doing enough for these athletes? The answer is no. They don't have money, walking around money, right, to buy their toothpaste, to buy this, to buy that. They don't have that. Many of them don't have the family support. They can send them a couple of $100. So they become very susceptible to people like this that say, hey, we'll pay you $400 for signing your name. Yeah. But on the other hand, the schools are making millions of dollars from their jerseys, from their likenesses, from all this other stuff. So, the governor can sign all this that he wants. But the question is, who gets caught? And when will they get caught?
Yeah.
And are those signatures authentic?
Oh, interesting. Yes. Are they even authentic? Right. Interesting. All right. Hot topic number two. The Bibb County School Board recently approved several personnel changes under the new superintendent, Curtis Jones, who's been on the job now for a little while. What are the biggest takeaways from this?
Well, there's a number of things. One, I think the new superintendent should have his own team. That's a given. Because he is going to succeed or fail by his own appointments. So he should have his own team. The questions that I have are many. One, they're combining Ballard Hudson Middle School with Bloomfield Middle School. The gentleman that he's bringing in doesn't have any knowledge of either one of those schools, nor does he have the knowledge of the gangs at Bloomfield and the gangs at Ballard Hudson and how the two don't mix. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be very difficult for him to move in that situation. The board, this is not Curtis Jones' thing. He was not the superintendent when the board decided to put these two schools together. The board knows the issue, and they've ignored it. Well, probably come late August, when these two groups of people get together, they're not going to be able to ignore it anymore. And it's going to be Curtis Jones who's going to have to solve it. So that's one thing that, the sheriff's department has told the board the issues. Teachers have told them the issues. Other administrators have told them the issues. So they know what the issues are, and they've decided to make that move anyway. As far as on the high school level, Southwest High School is going to get another new principal that is not from the area and has only had experience on the elementary school area. But obviously, Curtis Jones has confidence in the gentleman, and Southwest is going to be one of those schools that the board is going to have to look at to see how well they do. Mm-hmm. And it's Curtis Jones' prerogative to put people in place that he feels are going to do the job that he needs being done.
The one of the things you and I were talking about is that many of these people coming in they don't live here, and they may not even live here.
Well, they're from right up the road in Griffin Spalding. They may decide to commute. Our last interim superintendent has been commuting for years. I think that's not a good idea because you really have to become part of this community to be able to be part of the community.
Right.
You have to live here. You have to know the people of this community. And I think that's going to be very difficult, or one of those things that I think he as superintendent is going to have to require his principals to do, and that's live in the community that they're servicing.
Yeah. It is such a challenge to know the issues if you don't live here.
And Southwest is a particularly interesting situation. I believe this will be their 6th principal in 7 years.
Wow.
And how do you set a measure when the leadership is going hither, thither, and yon, and you wonder why their graduation rate is so low? Well, it's so low because you have different leaders almost every year. Now, I'm very familiar with Southwest. 2 of my grandsons graduated from Southwest. I'm part of the team that says "Fired up Southwest, fired up." Hey, so it has a strong tradition. Parental involvement has probably dropped off, but I've also heard that Southwest is going to have a hammer in football this year. They have a band that's going to be about 120 members, and those parents are involved on the football team and the band. It's going to take a unifying force to help push the school forward.
He's probably the superintendent that can do this.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I certainly
We
hope
will
so.
be watching.
Yes.
All right, GEICO is, this is hot topic number 3. GEICO is bringing 200 jobs to Macon. Bibb. Is this a big deal?
I think it's a big deal. Now, here's the big deal behind the number. GEICO is, it's about performance. GEICO has had trouble in the past filling their jobs. And the reason they've had trouble filling their jobs is because many of the applicants don't meet their qualifications. So if you want to say, okay, what does a high school graduate need to do to get a job at GEICO? Well, here's a few things that they have to do. And if you're trying to make the point of why are you going to school, why are you doing this math, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? Well, because this is what the job market needs in order for you to get a good job. And GEICO has a career path set out for you that you can go up the ladder, but you have to have done some things correctly.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's going to be that's a fun time.
Yeah.
When you know that the economy is growing.
Yeah.
Just last week, I believe the unemployment rate went down to 5.2. Another more than 200,000 jobs over the last month. I mean, things are picking up. And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. And now we just need the educated, qualified talent in town to be able to take advantage of the jobs. All right. Well, that will do it for us for this week.
And that means you're cooking breakfast next week, right?
I will bring it and try to keep it hot.
Josephine, you hear that, don't you?
All right. For our complete conversation on video, you can see us in the studio at macon.com, or you can head to gpb.org/Macon. That's where we will be. That's where the video will be. And we'll be back here next week.
See you.
All right. Great.